Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Saturday, July 9, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Chicago White Sox vs Detroit Tigers. Our team is White Sox for the win. And here is why. Detroit got off to one of the worst starts of any team in baseball this season, losing 23 of its first 32 games. The Tigers added a lengthy losing stretch in the middle of June, eventually falling 17 games under the .500 mark. They have been able to gain some ground over the past week, though, winning 5 consecutive games. Detroit swept a 4-game series against Cleveland before picking up a 2-1 win to open this series on Thursday. The Tigers are in 4th place in the American League Central, trailing Minnesota by 10.5 games. They are 9 games back of the final AL wild card spot. Chicago has still not been able to find its footing at any point this season. The White Sox have been hovering around the .500 mark virtually since the year began, alternating between wins and losses at every turn. They were able to record a 3-game sweep in San Francisco last weekend before losing 3 of their following 4 games, including Thursday's series opener. Chicago is in 3rd place in the AL Central, trailing Minnesota by 6 games. The White Sox are only 4.5 games back of the final AL wild card spot, and they still have plenty of time to make a run. Chicago knows that it can no longer afford to slip up in games that it is favored to win, such as Saturday afternoon's contest against Detroit. The White Sox have one of the best defenses in baseball, 5th in average, and have the better starter on the mound for this game, making it a straightforward wager. Cueto has been going deep in almost every outing, while Hill is getting set for just the 2nd start of his career. I have much more confidence in the White Sox than I do in the Tigers on Saturday. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. And here is why. Both teams have been terrible on offense this year. Detroit is bottom 5 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, walks, OBP, SLG, and OPS. No player on the Tigers has double-digit home runs. The White Sox are bottom 10 in the league in runs, home runs, RBIs, walks, SLG, and OPS. They have never faced Garrett Hill, and they will struggle to hit him. When Hill leaves the game, Detroit's relievers will take over and they have been very good. The Tigers' relievers rank top 6 in ERA, runs allowed, home runs allowed, WHIP, and batting average against. This will be a lower scoring game, and the under will hit. St. Louis Cardinals vs Philadelphia Phillies. Our team pick is Cardinals for the win. Since a managerial change over a month ago, the Phillies have been playing the kind of baseball that had them pegged as a potential playoff team in 2022. The Phillies followed up a great month of June by starting 5-2 in the month of July in the midst of a 9-game homestand. The Phillies have continued their power surge with 10 home runs over the course of the last 7 games, including 4 by Kyle Schwarber, who leads the National League in long balls. The Phillies now hit the road and hope to keep their power bats with them. On Friday night in St. Louis, the Phillies' offense was provided by 2 solo home runs from Alec Boehm, and starter Zach Wheeler pitched 7 shutout innings to lead the Phillies to victory. The Cardinals are nestled in 2nd place in the NL Central and undoubtedly happy to be back home after a 2-7 road trip. The Cardinals' offense struggled on the trip, hitting just .233 on the trip and averaging 2.8 runs per game. The Cardinals have been a far better home team this season and hope that the home cooking will bring the return of the team's potent offense. On Friday night against the Phils, the Cardinals' bats were silenced in a shutout loss. The loss drops the Cards 3.5 game behind the Brewers. Hudson tends to keep the ball down, allowing just 6 home runs this season. He has given up just 2 home runs in his last 10 starts. Hudson will keep the ball down and keep the Phillies from reaching the seats in this matchup. Gibson, however, has been snake-bit by the long ball, allowing 8 in his last 6 starts. Gibson has given up 5 or more runs in half of his last 6 starts. On the road, he is 0-2 and has only pitched 6 innings twice in his road starts. Look for the Cardinals to break out of their recent offensive funk back at home this weekend. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. Baltimore Orioles vs Los Angeles Angels. Our team pick is Baltimore for the win. And here is why. Los Angeles got off to a strong start this season, going 27-17 through its first 44 games. The Angels then went on a 14-game losing streak and have been in a funk since then. They were swept by Houston last weekend before splitting 2 games with Miami earlier in the week. Los Angeles got off to a slow start in this series, dropping a 4-1 decision on Thursday. The Angels will wrap up their 9-game road trip on Sunday afternoon. They are in 4th place in the American League West, sitting 17 games back of Houston. Los Angeles is 7 games back of the final AL wild card spot. Baltimore appeared to be on the verge of heading towards another terrible season when it lost 24 of its first 38 games. The Orioles have shown some resilience this year though, including their 5-game winning streak earlier this week. They wrapped up their series at Minnesota with a 3-1 win on Sunday before sweeping Texas in a trio of 1-run wins. Baltimore added to that success with a 4-1 win over the Angels on Thursday to extend its streak. The Orioles are now just 4 games under the .500 mark, sitting 5 games back of the final AL wild card spot. These teams have been trending in opposite directions to open the month of July, and I am going to continue riding that wave in this game. Baltimore has been able to climb back into playoff contention before the All-Star break and is playing with a lot of confidence as a team right now. Creamer has been the best starter on the squad this season, so I expect him to bounce back from a rough outing on Saturday. He is facing a top-heavy Los Angeles lineup that is not producing after its top 3 hitters. However, the Angels continue to be overpriced due to the big names on the roster, providing value on the Orioles at home. Our total pick is over 8.5 runs. And here is why. Both Patrick Sandoval and Dean Creamer have shown stints where they have been great on the mound, making it easy to think both pitchers will have great starts to make the upcoming game a low-scoring one. However, both the Angels and the Orioles have been carried by their lineups, and both teams look to drive in runs from the first pitch. The Angels lineup looks to step up and attack Dean Creamer, who allowed 5 runs in his previous start with Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and the rest of the lineup making hard contact and powering the ball throughout the game. The Angels are having another disappointing season and hope to desperately turn the season around as they haven't won a series since the start of July. Patrick Sandoval will start the upcoming game, and at 25 years old, he has looked promising but is having a difficult season, allowing 27 runs in 70 innings pitched. Moreover, with a .263 expected opponent batting average and a 4.11 expected ERA, opponents are constantly making contact against Sandoval to plate base runners. The Angels led 4-2 on Friday night powered by home runs from Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. Unfortunately, the Angels' closer, Raisel Iglesias, fell apart in the 9th and allowed 3 runs in a 5-4 loss to Baltimore. The Orioles are in last place in their division, but after a 14-win June, the team is suddenly right in the middle of the wild card race and looks to carry the momentum into the All-Star break. Dean Creamer has pitched 3 scoreless starts for the Orioles but has otherwise struggled, allowing 10 runs in only 32.2 innings pitched. Additionally, with a .285 expected opponent batting average, a .508 expected opponent slugging percentage, and a 4.79 expected ERA, opponents have made contact and powered the ball off of Creamer this season to drive in runs. The Orioles won their 6th straight game in dramatic fashion on Friday night, rallying for 3 runs in the 9th for a 5-4 win. Trey Mancini singled home Cedric Mullins for the game winner after Mullins singled home the game-tying run. The Orioles, who are averaging 4.40 runs in July, should run up a score against Patrick Sandoval and the rest of the Angels pitchers, with Ryan Mountcastle, Trey Mancini, Austin Hayes, and the rest of the lineup swinging for the fences and making contact to drive in runs at will.